equals the rain drummed steadily against the window panes of the small office on the 7th floor, its rhythmic patter underscoring the weight that hung heavily in the air. Sophia sat hunched at her desk, fingers drumming absently on a stack of untouched paperwork, the dim light casting a pallor over her features. Outside, the city moved relentlessly, unaware of the storm brewing within her. Each droplet that slid down the glass held a fragment of her tumult, a reminder of the choice she wished she could unmake. Her mind danced back to that late summer evening, beneath a sky painted in hues of crimson and violet, an ordinary night transformed into a pivotal moment. Fragments of that night played like an old film reel, each memory a frame tainted by the sharpness of regret. She remembered the laughter spilling from the nearby cafe, the clink of glasses, and the music that filled the air like a comforting blanket. In the corner, she had seen Tom, his back turned, immersed in conversation with a colleague, the very person she had implored him to avoid. "Be careful," she had said half-heartedly, her voice laced with a portent she hardly understood. Yet her admonitions rang hollow, replaced by the gnawing fear that had whispered, silently coiling around her heart, the fear of losing him. In the end, she had remained silent, letting trivialities distract her from steering him away from the jagged edge of compromise. As the months passed, her internal landscape shifted. Denial mutated into something more sinister, a desperate attempt to rationalize the misshapen events. Every call she refused to make, each unreturned message echoed in her mind like the tolling of a distant bell, a harbinger of her ineffectiveness. A choice not made as often as damning as one made hastily in anger, she thought. The truth was smeared in shades of gray, its contours blurred by the lines she found herself unwilling to cross. It wasn't long before the day came when Sophia learned that Tom had crossed those very lines. "Tom's gone," his colleague had said, voice barely above a whisper, inhaling the gravity of his own words. He didn't make it out. The room spun rapidly, and reality fragmented around her. She had not needed to grasp the details. She sensed their enormity thrumming in her veins. A car crash. A bad choice made after too much drink, something that had spiraled into the unfathomable. Now, guilt sat heavy and unyielding, an anchor that rooted her to the ground in creeping despair. Strangers on the streets became living reminders of her histrionics. Each face was a mirror reflecting what she had let slip through her fingers. Regret pulled her deeper into its maw, and soon, she was drowning in what-ifs. What if she had spoken up? What if she'd reached out just once more? They trickled through her like sand, the moments slipping unabated through her clenched fingers. Days turned into weeks, and despite the cacophony of life around her, Sophia felt an isolation that echoed louder than the thrumming rain outside. Shadows danced in her mind, dark figures looming over memories she wished to erase. Redemption became her ghost, a specter that haunted her every step, guiding her towards self-reproach rather than salvation. The city continued its ceaseless hum, but the melody she once danced to grew dissonant and harsh, twisting her perception into a distorted reflection of the life she had painstakingly cultivated. Then came the moment of reckoning. Sitting on the steps of her building as dusk fell, the vibrant hues she once adored transformed into muted shadows of uncertainty. She encountered a familiar figure. Tom's colleague, his face gaunt with remorse, approached and sat beside her, laden with an unspoken burden. "I'm sorry," he said simply, and his words carried the weight of the world. Their shared guilt hung in the air dense as fog, enveloping them both. They spoke little, but every glance exchanged bore the intensity of 1,000 unvoiced apologies. The realization dawned on her. Between them lay an inexorable bond built not solely on sorrow, but upon accountability. The moral decay that had spiraled from one decision stretched towards others, intertwining their fates like vines choking a tree. Yet even amid this fragile repartee, Sophia knew that absolution was a mirage, shimmering just beyond her grasp. As night engulfed the city, she felt no more clarity than she had before. They sat in silence, face to face with a hollow truth, the unrelenting weight of consequence stretching infinitely. The rain, once a comforting sound, now clung to the darkness that surrounded her, an echo of all she could never reclaim, a spiral of fate irrevocably set into motion. And the city, with its bright lights and bustling echoes,